To health concerns, health experts are expressing concerns over the spike of new HIV infections in the counties that traditionally reported few cases of infections. This was made public at the start of a 3-day HIV conference in Mombasa County aimed at reviewing lessons in the country's response to the more than 3-decade-old epidemic. The conference is dubbed Maisha Conference.
Dr. Ruth Laibon, CEO of the National Syndemic Diseases Control Council, revealed the challenge of emerging pockets of epidemics in counties that did not traditionally have HIV progression, like Samburu, Mandera and Garissa.
We begin to see counties, especially those that were traditionally not mentioned around HIV, like Samburu County. We begin to see the cases spiking up in even the far northern part of the country. We have Mandera coming up. We have counties such as Garissa.
Dr. Laibon said men and boys' adherence rates to antiretroviral drugs are low compared to women and girls, though HIV is more prevalent in women and girls.
In men and boys, the adherence rate to antiretroviral drugs is quite low as compared to women and girls. And although HIV is more prevalent among women and girls, we lose more men and boys to HIV because of one, they don't come to the hospital early. We only get them in the TB clinics, and when they are sometimes very sick or they've been sent to the hospital because of pneumonia or any other disease.
She calls for cooperation between HIV/AIDS expectant mothers, doctors, and the community to stand with those suffering to stop stigma and discrimination, factors that stop those suffering from accessing medication.
That cooperation that you could have had between the mothers who are giving birth with the doctors and the community to support them from suffering from the stigma and discrimination that then stops them from accessing the medication. So that is a big challenge of how to address stigma.
Dorothy Onyango, diagnosed in 1990 with HIV, said the country has made strides in the fight against HIV. Through her organization, Women Fighting HIV in Kenya, she is creating awareness in the communities.
Because the studies we were doing were randomized, we were able to give very definite information. And for those who had advanced disease, you heard Dorothy talk about how you waited to be treated. It was a terrible time, you know. You waited to get sick so that you can get the ARVs. Now, for the women who had advanced HIV, there was a 14-fold increased risk of dying.
Professor Ruth Ndwati, epidemiologist and pediatrician, gave an account of the journey to accessing antiretroviral drugs when HIV first emerged.
We need science, then of course we need funding, we need policies to be put in place that can support issues of people living with HIV.
Joan Junge for Lunchtime News.